Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. And today I'm actually kind of talking about a hybrid situation here. And the first thing I want to talk about is net neutrality. Now, I did a video a couple of days ago on net neutrality, regarding various things. And there was actually a major setback for the FCC, who is trying to kill net neutrality by basically not being able to quash the states from doing their own net neutrality thing. But there's another article that recently came out that has nothing to do with net neutrality, but the way I'm looking at it is that I think this could apply and make the case for why net neutrality is needed. And I am talking about the Americans with Disabilities Act. And I've got some notes here from the Los Angeles Times. Now, a man named Guillermo Robles is blind. He actually filed a lawsuit within Los Angeles 3 years ago and complained that he was unable to order a pizza online from Domino's. Domino's, for those of you who don't know, is a major pizza chain here in the United States. I think they're all over the planet probably. He could not order a pizza from their website because Domino's website lacked the software that would allow him to communicate and basically understand. Now, there's a lot of software out there for the blind that allow them to, let's say, have websites read to them, all this kind of stuff. And so basically what happened last week is the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, cleared the way this past Monday, basically, for blind people to sue Domino's Pizza and other retailers if their website is not accessible, basically making the claim that the Americans with Disability Act applies to them. Domino's had basically said that the Americans with Disability Act applies to their brick and mortar stores. So if you walk in, they have to have, they have to be available for the disabled, for the blind, if you're in a wheelchair, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now websites are following suit. Now, here's why I think that this actually bolsters the case for net neutrality. Think about it this way. When we have a telecommunications system, which is what basically net neutrality is trying to turn the internet into, as opposed to just like a service that is offered, ad hoc, optional, all of that, into a standard service, because we use the internet way more than we use conventional phone systems, which has this protection. Phone systems conventionally have had to adhere to the Americans with Disability Act. Phone providers like AT&T, et cetera, have to have basically the capability to support people with disabilities as they are trying to call and talk to, including talk to other people, including deaf people, obviously, which would make it very hard to be on the phone. And so here we are. Can we have the internet basically become protected that ensures net neutrality, because it also helps protect the capabilities of the Americans with disabilities? Now, moving that forward, that then literally applies to the entire world. The government then would have the ability to force companies, websites, my own included, to actually have to adhere to the ADA, meaning I would have to make my website, let's say, accessible, to the disabled in the same way that every single website on the planet would, at least those within the United States. And so I think it's an interesting argument that nobody is actually making right now that could potentially be a game changer in the fight for net neutrality. I believe in net neutrality. I'm not somebody that wants to have over-regulation, and maybe what I'm talking about here by forcing this argument of the Americans with Disability Act into net neutrality is creating more regulation. But I think it's an interesting argument to make, and I'm honestly surprised that nobody's made it right now. So I am proposing that to you. What do you guys think about that? Can we use the Americans Disability Act to bolster and ensure net neutrality, or am I way off base? And obviously, feel free to tell me I'm wrong here. Many of you oftentimes do, and I am more than happy to hear the feedback. So that is your news of the day. Take it for what it's worth. I think it's an interesting argument to make. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me here on YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.